Space. Space. Bug. Bug. Magic for the masses. 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 Space. Space. Bug. Bug.
What's up, Humanity Spacebug coming at ya, and today I wanted to tackle a pressing issue in the United States of America, which is where I live, if you didn't know. So, there are some questions, there are some issues being discussed around the topic of strengthening election integrity, specifically voter ID laws. Now, there's a lot of people saying that it's completely unacceptable, it's undemocratic, it's racist even, to require these new regulations to be put in place or whatever. I'm having a hard time articulating my thoughts because this is crazy. Now, let's discuss the main and most relevant, or most important factor of this issue, which would be the issue of racism, because that's not okay. In America, we should all be accepted for who we are. So I watched a video with this excellent gentleman. I can't remember his name, but I'll go through my history and try to link it. If I remember, which is probably not going to happen, but either way. He interviewed a bunch of young, white, liberal people. Actually, there was a couple of older people in the interview as well, to discuss the matter of racism in the voter ID laws. Now, here's the argument that it's racist to require identification for people to vote. Let me go ahead and go backwards and say the identification would be provided for free by the state. Black people and brown people don't have access to the internet. They are less likely to have ID. Black people can't afford free IDs and don't know how to use the internet to access these free state websites. I don't know how this came up in the video, but most convicted felons are black. And it's not fair. They can't vote because they're black, because they're convicted felons. Black people can't afford to have data on their phone. This is really what people are saying in America. Where do these people live that there are no black people? For them to not know that, that's totally fucking ridiculous. For one, toddlers can use the internet nowadays. It's mind-boggling. If that didn't just put you in a state of stunned, fucking shock, stasis, I don't know what would. First and foremost, everybody has an ID. Most everybody. Myself went for 3 years without an ID, white. And my friend fucking Rich went 7 years to see if he could without an ID, white. We're just dumb. We're not. It's not about race. It's about needing to survive in society. I didn't need to survive in society. And apparently he didn't either. Okay. The real issue here, in my opinion, is class. And if there aren't black people rich enough to be a part of that ignorant ass fucking class, then one, go black people. You're not fucking idiots. And two, that shows a very obvious demographic difference for race and fucking money, I guess. It's insane to think black people are too stupid. Black and brown people are too stupid, too poor. Basically, that's what it boils down to do anything. It's ridiculous. It's fucking insane. And for that to be the basis of their argument against the law, to make sure that people who are voting are A, American citizens, and B, alive, then I think that this should really stand out as one of the most completely unjust, insane attempts of the government to control us or to manipulate our vote. I mean, come on, guys. Wake the fuck up. This is insane. insane. It's like, whoa. So I wanted to make everybody aware that this is the argument against voter identification laws and election integrity law changes. It's fucking insane that this is an argument. I can't believe in the court of law, in the government of the United States of America, this could even be a possible consideration. It's fucking insane. So, that's all I had to say. And it's the most important thing I had to say, so that's why I'm doing this first. What the fuck? If this should open everybody's eyes, this should literally pry people's eyes open and say, look, the party who is not supporting voter identity verification clearly thinks so poorly of people of color that, one, we should not support them. No one should support them. Not black people, not white people, not brown people, not anybody. Nobody. That's fucking insane. They do not need our support. They need to be taken the fuck down. And two, I hope everyone will support voter identification laws, because it doesn't make sense to not have voter identification laws. I mean, when I first voted, back when they were legalizing marijuana, and that's why I voted, I had to have an ID. When we went to vote this last time, during the Trump-Biden election, I lost my ID, and I don't ever need it. And I was really worried that at the polls they were going to ID me and I wouldn't be able to vote, but it didn't happen that way. It used to. The first year that Obama was elected, you had to have an ID. Same year that they tried to legalize medical marijuana in Michigan. Go Michigan! But you don't have to have one now, and I think that that's weird. Voting by mail, I don't remember that ever being a possibility, unless you are like in the armed services and out of the country. That makes sense. That seems fair. But there shouldn't be a whole lot of exceptions for going to the polls. That's an American custom. It's also just the most obvious way to make it fair. I mean, some people who are disabled in the United States of America should probably have the right. But what is the percentage comparatively? And couldn't there be a, like, clause in the law that says Americans with disabilities who are immobile or cannot travel or something to that effect are able to vote by law with a photocopy of their valid ID. And the state being willing to provide these IDs for everyone freely, which is already a thing in Michigan. You can go down to the DHS and get an ID for free anytime. I don't see the problem with voter identification laws, except for harder to manipulate the vote. I'm not going on some crazy Trump tangent. I'm saying all of our votes should count for what they are, for one vote, for whoever we vote for. And that's what we are. That's who we're supposed to be as Americans. That's what we're supposed to stand for and live. I hope that everyone will support the law to help identify voters in the United States of America. And I hope that no one here who's watching this video thinks that black people or brown people or whatever are stupid or poor, because that's fucking ignorant. Ignorant as fuck.